And a month after that, my son's fiance doesn't have a father, and she asked him if I'd walk her down the aisle at my son's wedding. And I'm going, well, if I'm like the last guy, I ain't gonna make it. So hell yeah, I got scared, but I ain't afraid anymore.
Hell yeah! So now you're back to not being scared of nothing.
No,
That's John
Wayne, this son of a bitch.
The old man and the People's Choice Awards. Were you nervous at all?
No, I was pretty weak that day though. I had been doing really, really good. And I went to dinner the night before and decided I would try to have a couple glasses of wine. And the next day I was really down, and I shouldn't have done that, I guess. I didn't know, but I got really sick and almost missed rehearsal. So I was really weak that night, but I was on chemo and was battling, and it was tough. But no, I wasn't nervous.
What stood out to you about what people had to say seeing you on TV again?
Well, the wonderful part of it was when I did it for the movie 3 or 4 years ago, The Mule, Eastwood's deal. Everybody at Warner Brothers they promoted with a lot of money for the Oscar, for Academy Award. And of course, with the political polarization going on, they're not going to let me and Clint in, but they promoted it anyway. And then, nobody wanted to play it as an old-fashioned song, and it just didn't go. And then Willie cut it on his album, Engelbert Humperdinck, some of the old guys cut it, and then some foreign superstars cut it. And I thought, well, that's what it was meant to be, words to live by. And that's just not the way music scene is today, those old type songs. And then when I got to the People's Choice, Rat Clark, the producer, said, I want you to, when Blake does Who's Your Daddy, I want you to do this song. And I was like, that's going to be a real bummer coming out of Who's Your Daddy? And he said, I know, but I think it'll be a special moment in the show. And man, was he right. That thing exploded.
Afterward, people were eager to draw conclusions about why it was so emotional for you. What do you think about that? And what did you want to say about people that were assuming?
I think when I wrote it, I was writing it. Clint Eastwood inspired it, but it's like I was writing. Clint's 93, still plays golf every day. So when I wrote it, it was like I didn't know those in the next few years that I was going to have to be looking those words square in the face, and as much as they're words to live by when you're old, they're just as much words to live by when you're battling a fatal type disease that can be fatal, So it's like, I never knew I was going to have to do that. So I think with me being out of the public's eye, COVID and fighting cancer 2 years, and really not being out there going, I'm in my 30th year and I'd never taken a year off. So now disappearing 3 years, and then the word hitting the street and everybody knowing that what I was battling, and then showing up at this deal and singing that song, it just spotlighted the moment and the song so much that when I hit the stage, it was like everybody was wanting to see what's left, what's he got left. And so I had their attention. And then you drop that heavy hitting song on them, and it was just a magical moment, I've had so many guys, even all the girls are going to cry, but I've had so many guys go, dude, I bawled my eyes out. But yeah, we didn't design it for that. It just, things that are really, really special just have to happen for a reason. And you can't plan. If you knew how to pull that off every time, you'd plan it that way.
Yeah.
There was no planning in it. I just showed up and they said, here's what we want you to play. And I really wasn't even thinking nothing about it going into the rehearsal. And we get done the rehearsal and I take my ear monitors out, and Rat Clark's coming up the stage bawling, wiping wet tears. I mean, and going, you SOB, you got me. You got me. I'm right on this. This is going to be a great moment tonight. And then I started realizing the impact it could have. And I said, this may affect a lot of people tonight. And of course it did.
How you feeling today?
I feel great today. It takes a while. You have to be the captain of your own ship. And doctors in the medical world are just like any other profession, you know, and you got a lot of people on these teams doing it, and you just have to dig in and get everybody in the right place, get the right people, and pray for the right results. And I finally got it in a spot where I'm really comfortable with it, and everything's trending really well right now. And I'm not going to let this, define my rest of my life. And if I live to be 100 or I don't, I'm going to go forward. And I'm feeling good. And I'm off of chemo, and I'm rolling. So we're just going business as usual going forward.
Is your daughter Krystal going to record music again?
I don't know. She's raising beautiful babies. I mean, just she's a mother. She loves to sing, but she loves being a mother, and she's so busy with those kids. They are constantly doing something, and when they're asleep, they sleep on top of her. It's like puppies around a dog. They just worship her, and they're so busy together. She keeps them so busy. But I heard her sing at an event. She's still got the pipe. She can go and she can write. She's getting the age now where she's just like, I did that. That was fun. I had her on the CMA stage with me when she was 17, and she's 35. So it's like, what are you to do? So
right.
It's or she's 30. She may be older than that. Yeah, she's 38. But it's been, she had fun. She was out there. She did the radio interviews. She did all the shows. She wrote songs. She's got a song called Daddy Dance With Me. It's one of the most downloaded wedding songs for daddies to dance with their daughter out there. She wrote that and had it ready to go. And the first dance is the groom and the bride, and they danced to Elton John ballad. And then it came Daddy Dance, and all my friends are there. We're in Cabo, beautiful wedding. And I walk out to dance with her, and they go, here's your surprise. And she dropped it on me. And I was sitting there crying. I was like, this is terrible. You have just busted me out, because it's such a powerful song. And there's still times when I'll hear it, and it tears me up. But she nailed it, and she's still going. She can still perform. She'll get up and jam with people, but I don't think she probably won't ever, till her kids are grown, maybe not. She won't take another run at it. She may write an album at some point.
Okay. What are these Vegas shows going to look like? It sounds like it's going to be a party. What can fans expect?
We're going to come blazing. I don't usually need a rehearsal, but being off COVID and cancer, we're going to go to Nashville and do a rehearsal. Be first rehearsal I've done in decades, but it'll be like riding a bike. We counted them up one day. We were bored, and I think I have over 90 charted Billboard singles, 31 number one, and 50 something top tens, and we added them all up, and I could play a 4.5 hour show. So, thank God I don't have to. But I did a couple in July. I've got a roadhouse here. I live in Norman, Oklahoma, and I've got an old roadhouse out here in the country. It's 97 years old that they were tearing down, and I bought it, cleaned it up, put lights in the trees, stage out back. And a lot of people show up when the weather's good. And I snuck in down there one night, did Friday and Saturday unannounced, brought my band in. I did 2 3-hour shows. Well, we don't have to do 3 hours at Vegas, but I just wanted to go 3 to see if I was tired. And I cruised right through it. It was like riding a bike. First night was a little bit, do you remember all the words? Second night was just like, let's roll. So
okay,
that rehearsal will get me going, and then we're going to come stomping into Vegas.
I saw that you said you're not inspired to write very much new music anymore because you don't think radio will play it. Does that mean you won't cut any more albums?
No, I'll write. It's just when you get kids and grandkids, and this is my 30th year, you're just not as hungry. You don't have a bottom line to hit. You don't have, you got other stuff going on in your world that's way more important. And you've written songs your whole life, and you know the difference between a good idea and a bad idea. I've written so many songs that when I'm writing for myself, that I know I'm only a great idea away from a great song. But it's hard to take an average idea that you might write every day like we used to. You can do it, but it's more difficult to turn that into a. So I always say it's like a guy bow hunting deer in a stand. And you sit there for 20 years waiting on that one you want to hang on the wall. And you'll shoot an 8-point or a 10-point. All of a sudden, an 18-point walks by and you hang him on the wall. The next year, you find yourself sitting there and them 10 points are coming by and you're going, hey, buddy, how you doing today? And you let them walk by. You know what I mean? So when you've had 5 and 6 week number ones and you've written Courtesy Red, White, and Blue and Should Have Been a Cowboy and Don't Let the Old Man In, all these things you've wanted to write. And then you got an idea to write today. If it doesn't stick out like those ideas, you're going, I don't know.
Yeah.
So, you know, I do. My grandkids are coming by to see me. So it's like you just get so much more in your life. You don't have to hit the bottom line. I don't know if it's probably complacent's the wrong word, but it's more you're not as hungry. You're not fighting. You're not fighting to feed kids and make rent.
You're starting to rack up icon awards, man, with the BMI and the People's Choice icon. What do we need to do to get you into the Hall of Fame?
Don't ask me. I don't know how that works. I didn't. They usually wait till you die, don't they? don't you have to be 85 to get in there?
I don't know.
But I'm in. You know, I'm in 5 Hall of Fames. I really, above all of them, the 2 Songwriter Hall of Fames and the BMI icon were the 3 that, I mean, the People's Choice is wonderful. The Oklahoma Hall of Fame is great. And the Oklahoma Music Hall of Fame is great. But getting in the Nashville Songwriters Hall of Fame and the Worldwide Songwriters Hall of Fame, I would have been a songwriter either way. They just happened to accept, wasn't up to me, it was up to the fans, but they just happened to accept me as an artist. So I had a vehicle to deliver all those songs through. A lot of people in the Hall of Fame that never were really artists. And I happened to be able to just not have to pitch my songs and record them. So, but they didn't know that, you know, the one thing, I didn't want the CMAs and the music award shows, all that stuff. That was just a place to show up and get promoted and be relevant. The couple of things I really wanted was to someday stand up there and accept a nomination into the Hall of Fame as a songwriter.
If you could go back and re-record or change any song from your catalog, which one would it be and why?
I can't really say I would change anything or re-record because most of those songs I wrote, 90% of them. And people ask me all the time, the question I get the most, what's your favorite song you've ever recorded or wrote? They were all like children because I know where I was. They all had their own special place. They were all conceived between these 2 ears in this melon. And they're all special to me. You know, you think about the big monster songs at 5 or 6 week number 1. Yeah, they were big, but when I wrote them, I worked just as hard on another number 1, like Wish I Didn't Know Now. You know, some of those songs, Shouldn't Kiss Me Like This, Is That Blue Moon? Who's That Man? You know, those were songs that were number 1. They weren't 5 and 6 week number 1s. You still hear them on the radio, but I know where I was, why they were conceived, and I know how hard I worked on them. So it's really hard to define all that. It's just a great big body of work that I was really blessed by the Almighty to be able to have those skills.
Hey man, real quick, I'm sorry I lied. One more thing, man. When you see me as someone that doesn't get scared by much. When you were diagnosed with cancer, did you get scared?
I did, but that's a bridge that you've never crossed before. Cancer is an island in the middle of the ocean, and everybody rides around. They know it's over there, but they go to other islands. They stay away from there. Other people go to those islands. We don't go over And when you finally crash on that island, there's a lot of boats over there. And then you find out that half the world is afflicted with active cancer. And you go, holy cow, they've been working on this for centuries. And, um, and they haven't got this puzzle put together yet. And I just lost an acquaintance. We were playing golf in September of 21 up at the lake house. And my buddy had his college buddy in, and we're all playing golf, having a beer. My buddy goes, this guy never sleeps. And I didn't know him. I didn't know if he'd lost weight or had any. It's the first time I ever met him. Played golf 3 days with the guy. He had to go play in a cash tournament at Vegas. When he left there, got back to Oklahoma City, and about 2 weeks later, Lance called me, said, hey, remember that guy you met up the lake? He goes, he's got like 2 weeks to live. He finally went in and got a checkup. He'd up with cancer and sent him home. Lance went and seen him, and he died like 10 days later. So a month later, I get diagnosed. And a month after that, my son's fiance doesn't have a father. And she asked him if I'd walk her down the aisle at my son's wedding. And I'm going, well, if I'm like the last guy, I ain't going to make it. So hell yeah, I got scared. But I ain't afraid anymore.
Hell yeah. So now you're back to not being scared of nothing.
No.
John Wayne,
this son of a bitch.